Peppa Pig may try to pass itself off as a completely innocent kids show, but some characters are way creepier than we ever imagined. That's because there are hints that while they pretend to be normal, they actually have a dark side. Evil twin. You can't trust anyone, not even Peppa herself, because the star of the show very likely has an evil twin who takes her place in certain episodes. This theory started with one of the very first Peppa Pig posters, published back when the show was just starting out. In it, we see the pig family happily standing in front of their house, but for some reason, we can also see a little pig who looks exactly like Peppa inside the house, staring at them through the window. There's no way Peppa can be in two places at once, so that has to be another little girl who looks identical to her. Someone from the family, since she's inside the house. That's how the theory began that Peppa has a twin sister who is kept hidden by her parents, but occasionally switches places with her. This would explain why in several episodes, Peppa acts selfish and insensitive, doing things like refusing to play with George or picking fights with Susie. And sometimes, Peppa seems to forget events from earlier episodes. In Thanksgiving, Mummy Pig talks about Aunt Dottie, and Peppa asks who that is, even though her mom had already mentioned Dottie in Horsey Twinkletoes. Peppa had actually received a gift from her aunt in that episode. How could she forget? The only thing that makes sense is if one of the sisters got the gift while the other only heard about Dottie in the more recent episode. In other words, we'd all better watch out for the evil twin. And not just for her, because this is only the first of the 8 creepiest characters you need to see in Peppa Pig. So get ready to dive right in. This is another Cinewave, Miss Rabbit. Miss Rabbit is full of mysteries, and the answers to her secrets could be more sinister than we think. Every fan has wondered how she manages to have dozens of jobs, working pretty much everywhere in town. That's always been a sign that she's way more powerful than the other characters, possibly some kind of entity able to control multiple bodies at once. If that's the case, then Miss Rabbit is probably not just working all those jobs, she could also be keeping watch over everyone and everything, collecting information for some evil reason. Some people even believe Miss Rabbit is fully aware that all of this is just a TV show, and she's the one pulling the strings to make things happen. The main reason for this theory comes from the episode TV Land, where we find out she's the producer of the Super Potato Show. At the end of that episode, she puts Peppa on TV to introduce herself, and Peppa gives the exact same opening we hear at the start of every episode. Could it be that after that day, Miss Rabbit started spying on the pig family to turn their lives into a show without anyone in town realizing it? If that's true, she's one of the most devious characters in the cartoon world. Madame Gazelle. Madame Gazelle has always seemed like an amazing teacher who cares about her students' growth, but she's got a scary and vampiric side. That's right, Madame Gazelle is a vampire. And here's the worst part, there's a lot more evidence for this, enough that it's closer to being an unspoken truth than just a theory. In the episode where we visit Madame Gazelle's house, there's a shocking scene where she stands in front of a mirror and has no reflection. That's something that only happens with vampires, because they're considered soulless creatures. The wild part is that the narrator himself points out that Gazelle doesn't have a reflection, showing it wasn't an animation mistake, but something intentional. On top of that, flashbacks have shown that Gazelle taught Peppa's parents when they were kids. That must have been between 20 and 30 years ago, and yet the teacher hasn't aged a bit. She doesn't grow older, exactly like a vampire. So we can take Gazelle's dark nature as a fact, but is she a peaceful vampire, or does she secretly feed on the town's residents? If you also think Peppa's teacher is a creature of the night, drop a comment below, #vampire. The Wolf Family. Gazelle is already creepy enough just for being a vampire, but at least we don't have proof that she has bad intentions. The members of the Wolf family are the opposite. Everything points to them being actual wolves, but big bad wolves. Mr. and Mrs. Wolf, in different episodes, have already asked Daddy Pig a very strange question. What is your house made of? If you didn't catch it, that's a reference to the story of the 3 little pigs, where the big bad wolf blows the pigs' house down to destroy them and eat them. Mr. and Mrs. Wolf's interest in this makes it seem like they want to blow down the pig family's house just to eat them. Daddy Pig, not being foolish, always answers that his house is made of bricks instead of straw or wood. Not even Grandma Wolf seems innocent apparently. In Wendy Wolf's birthday, the kids ask Grandma Wolf the exact same questions that Little Red Riding Hood asks the big bad wolf disguised as her grandmother. Grandma Wolf gives similar answers, right up until the part where she's asked why she has such big teeth. She says it's to eat, pauses for a moment, and then finishes by saying it's to eat birthday cake. It honestly seemed like she held back from saying her teeth were for eating people. If there had only been one weird moment with the Wolf family, fine, but we've seen multiple. It's not far-fetched to think they give in to their animal instincts and secretly hunt piglets and other prey. Peppa and her family had better be careful. The Narrator. Have you ever stopped to think about which character is the most present in the show? Believe it or not, it's not Peppa or any other member of her family. Even though they're almost always the focus, there are moments when they're not on screen. That title actually goes to the narrator, who is always present in every moment, even though we never see his body, maybe because he doesn't even have one. And before you say he's not a character, remember that in certain moments, the characters seem to realize there's something deciding the direction of what happens in their lives. This becomes clear in the episode where Daddy Pig realizes he'll get stuck if he tries to go into a ball pit entrance, but still decides to go on. When Daddy Pig asks if that's going to happen to him, his eyes lock onto us, or rather, onto the narrator. And if we take into account that Miss Rabbit theory, it's easy to imagine they might even be working together. Mr. Fox. Thinking about all the characters we've talked about so far, one thing is clear. The world of Peppa Pig has its share of bad and shady people. Peppa's just too innocent to notice. Mr. Fox might try to play it off, but he's definitely in that group of questionable characters. Only, instead of hunting piglets or being a supernatural creature, he's a thief. That's something that's pretty obvious in the episode Night Animals when he suddenly shows up at Grandpa Pig's farm in the middle of the night. The crook was planning to steal the chickens, but showed up at the wrong time. Oh, if only it ended there, but in the episode Police Station, we see that outside the town's police station there are some posters. One of them has a fox symbol drawn on it. That symbol is exactly the same one printed on Mr. Fox's van because he runs a shop that sells all kinds of goods. His merchandise is also marked with the same symbols. Putting the pieces together, it's clear the truth has been right in front of us the whole time. Mr. Fox goes around stealing items and then turning them into merchandise for his store. That poster at the police station should really be warning people that if you're buying an item with that mark, it means the object was stolen. And to think he tried to pass himself off as a hard-working guy. Speaking of work, clicking the subscribe button doesn't take any effort at all. And the best part, you'll start getting all of our videos about your favorite cartoons. Pirate. Mr. Fox isn't the only dangerous thief in town. Pirate is in the same boat. He doesn't show up very often, but in his few appearances, it's pretty clear he's not just a pirate in name, and he's definitely not the kind of pirate who just goes on cool adventures like, say, the characters in One Piece. We're talking about a pirate who's true to the real world kind, the kind who plunder other people's treasures just to get rich. Once again, in the police station episode, there's a scene that reveals Pirate's true nature. In it, Police Officer Panda and Police Officer Squirrel show a treasure chest that they have no idea who it belongs to. They even say they're waiting for the owner to come pick it up. We see Pirate walk past the front of the police station, think about going in, but then think twice and keep walking. The truth is, that chest belonged to Pirate, but the crook doesn't want to claim it because he's afraid the officers will find out he stole the treasures from someone else. Edmund Elephant. Most of Peppa Pig's creepy characters are adults, since kids are usually harmless. But besides Peppa's evil twin, we have Edmund Elephant. He's the same age as George, but everyone knows there's something off about this boy. His intellect is simply extraordinary for someone so young, even surpassing that of the adult characters, making Edmund a prodigy. That might sound cool, but it means he's extremely dangerous. If Edmund ever decided he wanted to cause harm to the town's residents, he could, and no one would be able to stop him. On top of that, the little elephant can't be easily fooled. So could it be that he actually knows all the dark secrets of the other characters, including the ones we've mentioned here, like Madame Gazelle's vampire secret, Mr. Fox being a thief, and more? If Edmund knows and chooses to do nothing about it, maybe it's simply because he doesn't care about the people in danger around these characters. Simply because it's not his problem. And if that's the case, the elephant could be just as bad as the other characters on this list. The fun doesn't have to stop here. Just click on one of the 2 videos we've left on your screen to keep going with us. Thanks for watching, and see you next time!